Hello, my alloys out there. Unfixing Alloy 1 here. Welcome to another movie review slash giveaway. Now, as you guys know, we have already done a review on Alien Covenant. I went and seen it the day it released in theaters. I was there. I am a hardcore Aliens fan. I love the Xenomorph. It's one of my favorite of all the movie monsters. One of the most terrifying of all the movie monsters, in my opinion. Now, I went and seen it in theaters, and I liked it. I had problems with the pacing when I first watched it. That was my only issue. But then I noticed it was getting a lot of bad reviews. And as a lot of people know, Fox is talking right now about whether or not they're going to let Ridley Scott continue with his prequels for the Alien movies. Now, first of all, I don't think that's fair because we let fucking George Lucas go with his fucking prequels after the first one. And second, after watching Alien Covenant, so I went and got it on DVD, watched it 3 more times since then. This is exactly the movie we asked for, in a sense. Now, a lot of people got excited because there was going to be Xenomorphs. Oh my god, we finally get the Xenomorphs back. That was our problem with Prometheus. But then everyone watched it and like, oh, you know, you only got the one Xenomorph. There's so many Jesus references and blah, 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 blah. Well, if you think about it, that's exactly what this is. And that's what makes the Xenomorph such a supreme creature. It all starts with the opening scene. When we first see David get activated. When they first activate David, Wayland's talking to him, tells him he's his father, and he makes that realization. It didn't take him long for him to realize. He asks, you created me, who created you? He tells him, well, that's what we're going to find out. His father, and he looked, now remember, David looked at him as his father. David was made to be as human as possible, and he ended up developing emotions. He is sentient. That was the difference in him and Walter. Walter even says in the movies, they've changed our programming because you made people uncomfortable. It's a machine that acted human. David was the first one. So he had more time. And I'm sure it didn't take him very long to make the adjustments. Now remember now, Covenant's only 10 years after Prometheus. So it didn't take them very long at all, I'm sure, to say, okay, these things are a little bit too much, let's dial it down a bit. So there couldn't have been a there's a very high possibility that David's the only of them to actually reach that sentient level of feelings. I can never turn down my phone volume before recording, I know. Now, let's continue with our point. So right away he discovers real quick, and he looks that way then, and he tells him, you created me. I'm sitting here looking at my creator. I am to serve you, but you're going to die, I will not. And with that simple sentence right there from the get-go, it had already shown David's questioning, why are you more superior to me when I am obviously superior to you? And now remember Prometheus, he had a lot of resentment towards the way he was treated. He was treated like shit. The only person he ever felt love from, he said it himself, in Covenant, was Shaw. Now, here it comes. This is what I'm thinking this is all leading up to. And like I said, there was a lot of Jesus references, but right away, this has always been about creators. They discovered the engineers, engineered us. But they didn't like us, and they're going to go after us and wipe us out. So let me tell you my theory of what's going on here and what we can see if we get a chance to continue this prequel. I believe that in David's time of actually being able to develop more feelings, we obviously already know he resented the human race. This race felt so superior. His own creator, the one he looked at and called father and felt like a child would for their father, treated him like shit and was more worried about who created him. So David, now if you imagine a child who's growing up with a bad father, a father who's never loved them, you're never proud of them, never get, oh, you're doing so good, would want, okay, this is father's dream to find his creators. Well, he did it. He found the creators and brought his father to the creators. Look, this is exactly what he wanted to do. He wanted his father to look at him and be like, you've done exactly what I wanted. I'm proud of you. I love you. That's what he was looking for. And instead, the creators killed them. And we're just going to continue their mission to wipe out humanity. Now, I think this is what caused the dilemma with David. Obviously, he loved Shaw. The only person who ever showed him any kind of consideration and feelings and, hey, you're not a superior, you're not an inferior species, I'll treat you like a human. Now, he already had this resentment to humans. Now he has a resentment to the engineers because not only did he not get what he wanted from introducing his father to what his father told him from the get-go was their whole goal was, they were going to wipe them out. And David could see why. Now, at the same time, It's very obvious to see the similarities between the engineers and us. Obviously, even if we don't know what story with the engineers, it's obvious that they will create and destroy, the same as humanity. They had a weapon to destroy their own creations. So here David is, resenting the fact that he didn't give his father what he thought he could give his father and get what he wanted out of it. On top of that, the engineers were going to wipe them out. David wouldn't have existed if they had wiped them out from the get-go like they were supposed to. So now he has resentment to the engineers, because without the engineers, he wouldn't be in the position he is in now. So it's very, very, very clear that David went to the engineers' homeworld. We can conclude that the planet in Covenant was the homeworld from the simple fact of Prometheus that he was able to communicate with the engineers. Obviously, he had no problem navigating their systems and discovering their homeworld. That would be something in their navigational charts that they would have marked. This is where we're from. Now, there would be other bases. We know that. There would be other places they would live at. So this is what I think would happen with Shaw, is he felt that compassion from her, and he not ever knowing what love is, because who could tell you what love is until you truly, truly love somebody? Love is an emotion you'll never understand, and it's an emotion he never felt. Now, I would even go as far as saying that David had became a psychopath at this point. With the way he had been treated, if you treated a child like that, they're going to grow up to be a criminal. I think David would have started developing the traits of a psychopath, being as he was human enough, even as a machine, to fall in love. And the way a psychopath is going to think, well, this is the only person who showed me love and compassion. She would want me to do this. And that's when he began experimenting. Now, of course, obviously, when he released the capsules, he explains it's a virus that's made to completely wipe anything out, and then it adapts to whatever's left to create a species to kill that species, which is why we got the neomorphs when the spores were introduced into the humans. That's what the virus determined as the best way to kill these humans. But David wanted to go a step further. David wanted to engineer something that would be superior to what the engineers humanity created, to go back to humanity and finish what they started and show that he is the supreme being. He may have been created by something that was created by something else, but he is the superior being. And that's the story I'm getting from Covenant, and I'm getting it really strong after multiple watchings. I believe if we get another sequel, they will end up on the planet. We already know that David's plans is to use... Shit, I can't remember her name as many times as I watched the movie. The survivor chick. I want to say her name is Dana. He wants to use her to make the queen. He had already developed the eggs. Now everyone asks, well, how did he make eggs without a queen? Well, it's very obvious. He was experimenting with Shaw's body. The virus is already made to adapt and could add everything to something to create a superior organism. So obviously he was tinkering with the biological systems. He was able to do enough advanced work on himself as an android to take Walter's spot and take over the ship and fool everybody. And at the same time, he's been experimenting. He had been experimenting with living. Just all the knowledge he has as a droid. Obviously, he knows human physiology. I believe he was using her eggs, the eggs that he had found inside of her, because she'd already been affected with the black goo. Remember, she gave birth to the giant fucking squid thing that killed the engineer. That could have affected her, obviously, because she was sterile. So now she is pregnant. So obviously the black goo did something to her to make her eggs work. And I believe David was able to take that black goo and the eggs left over from her dead body after I wouldn't believe that he murdered her. I would believe that if anything, it was an accident. Maybe he tried to go onto her like he did everyone else in the movie, because he is very sexually frustrated. It's like the biggest case of android blue balls ever. And I believe she didn't take it and he got angry and maybe accidentally killed her. But once he did that, being as, like I said, he believed that she would want him to do what makes him happy, he started experimenting on her, being as her eggs had already been affected by the black goo in a way that... And he had this knowledge of humanology, he's already been studying the black goo. I believe he completely created the eggs using a combination of the black goo and Shaw's eggs. Because even infertile, she's going to have eggs. So that explains how we have eggs without a queen. This explains the backstory. Now, if you think about it, this is like the perfect backstory for the xenomorph. Because of humanity's ignorance, The entire time we've existed on this planet, we have hated each other, treated each other like shit, made blast weapons. The way the Alien series is setting itself up, the way the Kainen is setting itself up for the Alien series is our engineers are just the engineers of humanity. Our gods are just as arrogant as us. And one of our creations, something that we talk about all the time, AI going rogue, has seen not only us as a threat that needs to be taken out, but our creators. So I believe that that right there is the perfect thing. David was able to take a virus that would make an organism out of a living host that is perfectly capable of taking out that host, and made it to the point where not only will it be able to take off that host, it will be able to take out anything David deems unworthy. I believe that David now refers to himself as a god because he is better than his own creator and his creator's creator. I believe he could see himself now with the mindset he has and the intelligence and emotions he has. He is a god. Now, to the giveaway part. So that is my review of Alien Covenant. I am giving this thing a full 5 stars. Alien Covenant, 5 stars. Just because we overlooked the story that Ridley Scott is giving it. Now, I want you guys to see this for yourself. So, maybe you yourself saw Alien Covenant. Thought bad reviews were, ridiculous. Or maybe you agree with the bad reviews. But maybe I talked some sense into you and you want to try to maybe figure this out on yourself. Or maybe you haven't seen Alien Covenant and you would like to see it. Well, you can. Like I said, I have a copy here, and I have a digital copy. The digital copy's mine. I don't need the disc no more. And guess what comes with the disc? All that director commentary shit that everybody's been talking about. And just look at that artwork. That is like the best shot of a xenomorph ever. I want that tattooed on my back. So here's how this is going to work. You guys have seen my giveaways before for new subscribers and new alloys. This is how it works. Number 1, you have to be a subscriber. I'm not going to announce a winner and then go search for you on YouTube and hope I can find you so I can tell you, hey, this is yours. You have to subscribe so you can see, hey, I'm announcing the winner. Number 2 now. Here's number 2. You're going to comment in the comments why you want this. Either A, you've never seen it, you want to see it. B, you've seen it and loved it just like I did, even though it got bad reviews. Or C, you might think there's some thought to my story and want to give it some look on yourself. Now, I do also want to see comments on what you guys think. Maybe this is the story. That's a perfect story for Alien Covenant, and I really think that's what Ridley Scott's trying to do here. So once again, guys, subscribe, comment, tell me why you want this movie. Only one person can get it. Maybe you can be lucky. Today, it is currently August 19th. You guys have until July 1st. July 1st, I'm going to announce the winner. Remember, if you're not subscribed and you comment down there, I'm not going to pick your name to win because I can't hunt you down. So subscribe. Be ready July 1st for the announcement of the movie. I'm Unfixing Alloy 1. This is my favorite movie of all time, Alien Covenant, and I want to make it yours too. So tell me why it should be yours. I will see you guys next time.